So good day everyone. So for this another video, we will be going to share our thoughts and our insights about Pakistan English. Sir Vaughn has given us three questions and we will going to answer it. So first question, how Pakistan culture shape Pakistan English? So, as we all know, Pakistan is a multicultural country with a rich history and diverse ethnic groups. The various cultural influences have played a significant role in shaping Pakistan English. English, being the language of the foreign rulers, it was not welcomed by the masses, though the ruling class of Pakistan has had a strong inclination towards this language since the very start. Secondly, most of the areas included in Pakistan were not directly under the influence of the British, like Balochistan. As a result, English stayed alienated in the culture of common people of these areas. It is the result of this behavior with English that Pakistani dialect is considered distinct from other dialects of English in the world. After the establishment of Pakistan in 1947, English became Pakistan's de facto official language, and the status of English got formalized in the Constitution of 1973. At a time of independence, indigenous languages could not be made to run the bureaucratic mode of government inherited by the British. The use of English continued for system maintenance. So, Ayan, what's your thought about this question?
Okay, so Pakistan English has the influence of Urdu, Arabic, and Persian languages, which shape it as a specific variety of English. By borrowing Arabic vocabulary from Urdu language, Pakistan English has been developing. Moreover, in 2010, the research of Rayman elaborates that Pakistan English is shaped by Islam and Muslim history. Rayman means to imply that Pakistan English is different from Indian English because the former derives its terminology from Islamic register. Additionally, Rayman also states that in Pakistan, there are varieties of Pakistan English, such as Sindhi English, Punjabi English, Pashto English, and Balochi English. So, to add up, anyone? How about Mary Ann Saison?
Yeah, so it is also said that cultural context plays a pivotal role in shaping and developing a language or its variety. So, whenever a language encounters a new socio-cultural context, it gradually starts changing and thereby adapting to the new cultural reality. So, meaning the language change occurs so that it may enable its new users to express their cultural reality conveniently. So here, Mebab 2009 revealed the reality by investigating the interaction of Pakistani English with the Urdu language. So by the way, the Urdu language, it is the national language and the lingua franca of Pakistan, which is according to my research. It shows that Pakistani English came into being with or when the British colonizers came to subcontinent. He further elaborates that Pakistani English has been developing constantly since the separation of the subcontinent in 1947 by borrowing Arabic vocabulary from the Urdu language. So meaning to say, the cultural circumstances changed the shape and form of the language. On the findings of Mebab, It shows that Pakistani English has the influence of Urdu, Arabic, and Persian languages which shape which shape it as a specific variety of English. So in short, these morphological interferences from local languages have influenced the development of the Pakistani English. How, can you reconstruct it, Medes Roji?
Yes. So here is my answer to further explain Miss Sison's answer also. Um, it is stated here that the cultural context plays a pivotal role in shaping and developing a language of its variety. So the Pakistan English was greatly shaped by the interaction of two languages, which is their national language, Urdu, and the British English. And because of this, the Pakistani English had been developing constantly by borrowing Arabic vocabulary from the Urdu language. And that is why the cultural circumstances changed the shape and form of a language. Who would like to add some answers? Miss Gante.
Yes, let me add up. So thank you, Raji. So as we are talking about the culture of the Pakistan, so cultural context plays a pivotal role in shaping and developing a language or its variety. Whenever a language encounters a new socio-cultural context, it gradually start changing and thereby adapting to the new cultural reality. So the language changes occurs so that it may enable its new users to express their cultural reality conveniently. So the British greatly influenced language, public administration, education, architecture, communication, the political system and system of the government, thinking and culture in the lands that Pakistan inherited. So thank you.
Um, I want to add also. So, did you know that when the British colonizers came to the subcontinent, they introduced English as an official language of India? This policy decision entailed the interaction between the British Standard English and the local languages of India. Thus, in the new culture reality, Indian English as a variety of English developed to facilitate the local users. So when the colonizers left the subcontinent, India and Pakistan came into being as two separate states in 1947. So consequently, Pakistani English developed in the new cultural context. Moreover, Pakistani English has linguistic features which many speakers of British English find it hard to understand. So many scholars have studied and systematically addressed this linguistic, particularly if Pakistani English is researched and enriched, it can serve as a tool to encounter the discourse of hegemony. Thus, the current research has made use of a qualitative approach to investigate the differences between Pakistani English and the British English. So, the culture of Pakistan really has a big impact on the English language. Thank you. I think Gia also. Do you agree, Gia?
Yeah, I totally agree. So for me, Pakistan culture shaped Pakistan English in a way that their different contexts stand by the fact that culture shapes the evolving nature and also because of their kind language variety. So for me, it helps their language to be shaped. I guess that's all.
Now, let's proceed to the second question. explain cultural specific interaction are also known as interference in Pakistan English. So, Pakistan, as I mentioned earlier, is a country with diverse cultures and languages. However, due to the colonial legacy of British rule in India, English was introduced as an official language in Pakistan. Despite the fact that English is not a native language of Pakistan, it holds great significance in various domains of society. This preference for English over native languages has resulted in an English language hegemony, where the language has become a symbol of social prestige and intellectual superiority. Furthermore, the use of English in Pakistan has been subject to cultural interference, as it has been shaped and modified by local cultures and languages. As the However, the use of Urdu words and phrases in Pakistani English literature demonstrate demonstrates a conscious effort to create a distinct ethnic and cultural identity. So, anyone?
So let me reinforce that idea. So we have Winrich 1953 stated that when two different languages interact in a new cultural reality, they gradually tend to influence each other in a way that they produce a different variety of language. So the cultural specific interaction is forming a new language variety. So this language variety develops and called what we call interference. It involves a process in which the morphemes of language A transfer to language B. Alternatively, the B language designates new function of its morphemes on the model of A language morphemes. So, now Pakistani English has borrowed many of its lexical morphemes from Urdu and Arabic languages, and this is the fact in what I mentioned earlier about Pakistani English has been developing constantly with or by borrowing Arabic vocabulary from the Urdu language, as what also Miss Monel said earlier.
Yes, Nicole?
Yes, Miss Nicholas, you are saying.
Oh, so I also read that when the two different languages interact in a new cultural reality, they gradually tend to influence each other in a way that they produce a different variety of a language. So, this cultural specific interaction paves the way for new linguistic processes, which ultimately form a new language variety. This variety of language develops due to what Wainwright. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's a researcher. He has called this as interference, and he also argues that interference involves a process in which the morphemes of a language A transfer to language B. Alternatively, the B language designates new functions of its morphemes on the model of A language morphemes. So, moreover, Pakistani English has borrowed many of its lexical morphemes from Urdu and Arabic languages. And this is the fact that which distinguish it from Indian English and British English. Therefore, the paper that I have read discuss how Pakistan. Yes, that's it.
Okay. So In addition, friends, so there are distinguishing morphological features of Pakistan English. The first one is interference of suffix Asian in Pakistan English. For example, Pakistan English gave birth to the word pointation, point plus suffix Asian, which implies to furnish someone with information, is according by Dawn 2015, in which there is no place for this word in the other varieties of English. It belongs to Pakistan English and is cultural reality of Pakistan. The second one is the interference of local prefixes and suffixes in Pakistani English. There are words unknown to the native speakers of English language, but present or we can find in Pakistan English, such as the shape, the load, and eveninger. These are unique neologisms of Pakistan English. So for the third one, I guess Jaya prepared.
Yes, so let's go beyond deeper in the interference of local productive suffixes in Pakistan English. So, local productive suffixes is made in a creative manner when it comes to the cultural context of Pakistan. There are examples confirmed by Wenrich's statement of interference, such as the suffixes and e are, are interfered with English bases such as affect, shift, lift to make affect, affected or shift and motorcycle lifter. This is according to Don 2018. These words are easily understood by the speakers of the Pakistan language. However, native speakers will not be able to understand these words.
So for the fourth one is the
That's all.
interference of local free morphemes in Pakistan English. So independent lexical morphemes from both regional languages and Pakistan English also combine to make new words. Example, Lavi charge, roti price, rickshawwala, carwala, and etc. Words such as charge, price, and rickshaw are from English, while the words such as lath, roti, and wala are from the Urdu language. It is evident the creation of new hybrid words. In this instance, languages are interfering and creatively interacting with each other. So, in addition to that, how about Miss Gante?
So thank you, Ayan. So we are having almost the same.
Excuse me, Miss Gante, I can't hear your voice.
Well, now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So let's go with the culture of the Pakistan. So Pakistani culture is a very unique in terms of its social values revolving around the religion of Islam. The region has formed a distinct cultural unit within the main cultural complex of the South Asia, Middle East, and Central Asia, with an integration of elements from various invading cultures from the earliest of times. When two different languages interact in a new cultural reality, they gradually tend to influence each other other in a way that they produce a different variety of language. This cultural specific interaction paves the way for new linguistic process which Taglish, which is the English language and the Filipino language interacts, and with that we produce the Taglish. So thank you.
How about you, Mr. Medes? Do you have some inputs to share?
Yes. So, to further widen our understanding, this is my viewpoint on interference. So cultural on the two language obtain its interaction, which causes them to influence each other and form another varieties of language. So in the case of Pakistani English, the interference happens between the English language by means of borrowing lexical morphemes. The English language is influenced by Urdu and Arabic. As a result of the interference, the Pakistani English is developed as another variety of English, which is now an official language of Pakistan, along with the Urdu. That is why Pakistani English is distinguishable to the other varieties of English, like the British English and the Indian English. So, for example, in Pakistani English, Urdu serves as the interferee. So, when the Pakistani English speaker cannot find the British English equivalent of the word unable to refer to their cultural reality, they rely on productive suffixes. For example, when you are to refer to a person's life, they use the suffixes ism. The given example here is the name of Zia, the life of Zia, which is then became Ziaism after adding the suffixes ism. Then the word Ziaism refers to Zia's life. So that's all.
So for the
So what
one, we have discussed the lexical features of Pakistan English and provide examples. So let me start that one. So the lexical items from regional languages have diversified the vocabulary of Pakistani English in contrast with the British English or other varieties of English. So most of these lexical items have entered the PE or the Pakistan English from Urdu. Like from example, it is from the PDF that I read, we have this example. The word Kachi Abadi. It is a Pakistan English word which is borrowed from the Urdu language. So, in instance, the Pakistan English has naturalized this word completely, even if it is a borrowed word. So, from this phrase, which Drone reported, to relocate people from illegally set up Kachi Abades. So, the word Kachi Abades here is used plurally. And we have the regulations of pluralizations have molded and borrowed word so that it may fit naturally in its new home and linguistic context, which is no doubt a Pakistan English word. So, in conclusion, Pakistani English knows how to internalize the word in a very natural manner.
So I want to add up that one. So the lexical features of Pakistani English include vocabulary borrowed from Urdu, as what Miss Marianne mentioned earlier, and instead other regional languages of Pakistan, as well as loan words from British English, and American English. Moreover, Pakistani English speakers also use words and phrases specific to their cultural context. For instance, the use of salaam instead of hello or goodbye and chai instead of tea are common examples of vocabulary borrowed from Urdu. In addition, I also had my research. Pakistani English also shows evidence of code switching and loanword integration. For example, the word inshallah, meaning God willing in Urdu, is commonly used in Pakistani English as their conversation. Furthermore, Pakistani English has also developed its own unique lexical items that reflect the local culture and traditions.
I really love their inshallah part. So I also want to add up. So since Pakistan's society is multilingual in its formation, new words from these languages keep entering Pakistani language. So the continuous process has indeed led to the development and evolution of Pakistani English in a very different way. So this linguistic interference has given Pakistani English new forms and words which add to its richness and beauty. So the multilingual different language in an organic way, whose interference has given the language new directions of evolution and development. So there are also many other lexical items which Pakistani English has been borrowing from the regional languages to facilitate its speakers to express themselves easily in their own cultural context. Like the what? How do you pronounce it, Rina? No, shala. What? Ang sige ito? Ang sige ito katong kuan shala. Katong kuan nila ba katong yung na-research? Rina. Ay, sige, mag-research na lang sa ko about ato. So, kanang So, nasa ko yung nabasahan, there is the word mushaira, which means a literary gathering where people recite their poetry. So, the word has now become a part and parcel of Pakistan English, as well as Doan has utilized the word. Rahman Faris was the first poet to take the stage. He set the stone of his tent, thereby reciting a couplet which paid tribute to the host Nazim of the Mushaira. So the borrowing of this literary word also shows the fact that it is the quality of literary languages that they always borrow the Ordo language. Thank you. Mumshala.
Yes, Mr. Ian Peter.
Okay, so to broaden our knowledge about the lexical features of Pakistan English, I'll just provide one example. So, lexical item has been used which Pakistan English has borrowed from Urdu, and that is according to Dawn in 2007. For example, Mifil is music. Again, Mifil is Sama, which means a concert of Sufi music. Thus, Pakistan English has been enhancing its scope and vocabulary. Indeed, Pakistan English has borrowed many lexical items from the regional languages to enrich itself and facilitate the local speakers to easily express their cultural reality. How about Jaya Viradio? You
There
can share your
are
inputs.
also many other lexical items which Pakistan English has been borrowing from the regional languages to facilitate its speakers to express themselves easily in their own cultural context. So, Pakistani English has naturalized many words which it has been borrowed from the local languages. So, one of the examples are chips. If we base on their language, chips means a piece or a bit or to cut a small piece from large. But in our country, chips is a food, like a junk food, like that. Not only the food items, but also other words which show social identities have also made their way from the regional languages of Pakistan into Pakistani English. Who's next?
Okay, let me add.
Go ahead,
I'm
Miss
sorry, can you
Gante.
hear Miss Gante? Ah, I thought she's already speaking.
I can't hear you, Miss Gante.
Hi, Ate, we cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
We can't hear you, Miss Gante.
SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. You can hear you. SpongeBob.
Miss Tura, your mic is on.
Excuse me, Miss Gante, we can't hear you.
What's in?
Yes.
Kana,
Yes.
nadungog na to, te.
Oh, okay.
Kana lang.
So, Pakistani English has indeed borrowed many lexical items from the regional languages to enrich itself and facilitate the local speakers to easily express their cultural reality. So, Pakistani English also naturalized many words. So, borrowing means that words which originated in one language are now used in another. Even people who don't speak the lending language. So, for example, Pakistan also have words that have the English words that they adopt and also using the word the same. So the example of this is the word manager in English and also a word manager in the Urdu language. So who's next?
Mr. Roji.
Yes. Um, so Pakistani English has so many lexical features, which adds to its variety indeed. So the linguistic interference plays an important role on the different lexicons of Pakistan English. And I guess it all had been discussed already by you. So I think I don't have something to add up.
Yes, so based on given examples, Pakistani English has borrowed many lexical items from the regional languages, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Rina doesn't answer my question yet. Shalalala.
Yes.
I know that one.
Rina,
What
what's
was it?
shalalala?
Ma Masyalasay?
That's
Masyalasay.
Mash.
guys, God's willing.
Unsa kita mashallah?
Shalom.
Shalalala.
I always hear that in television. Do you watch the Muslim teleserye and Channel 7? They always say that. Have you
I
seen
only
the
watch
legal one?
Turkish
What was that?
series.
It was in the Channel 7. They are
So,
Muslim. So Pakistani are Muslim. So I enjoy it.
Thank you for your cooperation, everyone.
What uh yes. What you've what's your question, Nicole?
Pakistan are Muslims. No? Ay, oo, kaysa
Pa,
katong videos na gi-watch katong similarities and differences kay kuan man dito sila ng Muslim. Niya ang Indian kay
yes. As what I have mentioned earlier, Pakistani English is shaped by Islam and Muslim history.
that explains. Thank you, Ayan.
Yes.
I think that's all. No more questions.
And that completes.
Yes, that's all, everyone.
Thank you for
Bye.
your cooperation, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Hi,
everyone.
Rafi. You will.
To every